Alright, so today's tutorial is all about how to make a custom YouTube end screen. Now the way we're going to do this is with a free piece of software, no account needed, no money needed, 100% free, and it works on Mac, Linux, and Windows. So no matter what system you're on, this tutorial is going to be good for you. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to the Krita website and download the software. I've included links below in the description for Mac, Windows, and Linux. Also, you're going to need a template I designed. Now this template is designed to show you what the usable area is within your end screen, because you cannot use the entire rectangle of the video. So you're going to need this template to give you a guideline of where you can place stuff on your end screen. That's also in the description below. So once you get the software installed and the guide downloaded, go ahead and open up Krita. So the first thing you're going to do once you have Krita open is click on New File. And I always like to work with a 4K image. If you really want to, you can go 1920 by 1080 and that'll give you a 1080 picture. Then click Create. All this stuff down here, you can do RGB alpha, 32-bit float channel, and leave the profile as sRGB LV2G10.ICC, which is the default. Create. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this window down and we're going to drag the template I made into the project. Then we're going to insert as new layer. And right now it's way too big because I designed it to be much larger than I needed, so that if I ever needed to scale. That's the thing that's great about vector images, is they are infinitely scalable. Okay, so now that we have that aligned, and another thing great about Krita is it will snap everything to fit. So you don't have to worry about going too far over or not enough. It'll snap it right to the line. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag our template to the bottom layer, just above background, but below layer 1. It's going to take a second for it to load. Okay, and then layer 1, we're going to get layer 1 selected, and make sure that for every square that you draw and every circle that you draw needs to be on its own individual layer. Otherwise, things aren't going to really work properly. So, first thing we're going to do is draw a square on layer 1 for right here. I want it to be kind of a baby blue. You choose your colors over here. And if you're not seeing the same things I'm seeing over here on the right, go ahead and go to Window, Workspace, Default. Now you should be seeing the exact same thing I'm seeing. Alright, I want to make a blue square. So I've got the rectangle tool selected over here, and then I'm going to make a little drawing right here. A little square. Oopsie. I have it white. So let's try that again. Now with color. There we go. And then I'm going to make a new layer for my second square. This is going to be layer 2. And you can label these layers depending on what you're drawing. Also, if you draw too big, you can go over here to the resize tool, which is this little square with the dots around it, and then that'll give you the ability to resize it to whatever you need. It's kind of snapping in to, there we go. And then I'm going to do another layer for a little circle here. I'm going to grab this Move Resize tool. Boom, just like that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color this. But when you're coloring things, you need to have only the layer you're coloring visible. Otherwise, it'll end up coloring other things. So you're going to go over here to the Paint Bucket tool right here. You're going to get your color selected, which it already is. I'm going to keep the same color, and then you're going to click it. Now, if you want to do the other ones, you select that layer one at a time. Just like that. I'm going to go to the next one. And to turn layers on and off, you just click the eyeball next to them. I don't know if I already said that or not. So go ahead and select that layer. Boom. And bring all these up. Already starting to take shape. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up, going to select layer 2, and I'm going to move it down just a little bit. I want mine to be just at the very bottom, and then this one just at the very top. Like that. Okay. And this circle, I'm going to move that all the way over here to the edge like that. Yeah, I like to look at that a lot better. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a picture for my background. Now you could do a solid rectangle and a solid color if you wanted to for your background, but I think that can be kind of boring, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in an image that I found online. There it is. Insert as new layer, and I'm going to bring that down just below our end screen here. And then I'm going to go to properties for, oops, wrong one. I'm going to right click on our template. I'm going to go to properties, and I'm going to bring the opacity down to about 25% so that I can see everything else I need to through there and still know where my guides are. Okay, I'm going to Okay, how's that look? That looks okay. Alright, I like that. Now we're going to go up to layer 3, bring up layer 4. We're going to do some text. And the text tool is this T up here. I'm going to draw a little box right here. I'm going to change this to subscribe. Let's do 60 and then bold. Actually, we'll leave that at regular, then we'll go up, select our font. And then we're going to change the color of this to maybe a sort of red. I kind of like that. Close. Let's go ahead and bring that down to 50 then. That's better. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do another text box right here. But up next, I'm going to do similar font. Let's do size 40. What's that look like? Okay. Color, I'm going to choose kind of one of these lighter blues over here on the door. Save that. Good. Let's go ahead and make it bold and italicized. A little bit more flavor. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more. Let's do another layer. Pick Now, what text you'll put here will be dependent on what type of playlist or if it's going to be your most recent or YouTube's top pick for them. You can vary this text depending on what you're going to place there on your end screen. And if you don't know what the selections are available for your end screen, I recommend going into your video and then going to the end screen menu and then finding out which video you want to show or which playlist, and kind of getting an idea of the wording you're going to be needing to use. Okay, that looks good. Let's put that right. Let's go to the resize tool here. Get that right in the middle. If it starts snapping to a grid where you don't want it, just grab the resize tool and then drag it up and then drag it up, and then it'll kind of bypass that snap feature. That. Okay, I like the look of that. Now I'm going to do another text box right here. And since we're not going to be moving any of these extra video boxes, or these video boxes in the scribe, they're already in their final place, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that template as soon as I'm done with this. And choose. And if you guys don't have fonts that you are really like finding catchy or trendy, go ahead and do a Google search for a couple of free font sites. I mean, there's lots of good stuff out there that are for free. Okay. Okay, I like that. Okay. Then another text box. Remember, you want all this stuff on individual layers. And I'm sorry if you're like a big creative person and you're already using this program for other stuff and I'm messing something up. I'm sorry. This is like, I'm super beginner at this program, but I have enough skill to make an end screen and show other people how to make it. But if there's something I'm not doing the way you like it, sorry, but I'm fairly new to the program. And I was originally going to be doing this tutorial for Illustrator, but I decided I should do it for a program that's 100% free, doesn't require any cash up front, no account needed, nothing like that. So that's why I'm doing it with this program and not Illustrator. If you guys want to see a tutorial for Illustrator for the same thing, go ahead and let me know. Next week, I will be having a tutorial coming up showing how to make it animated end screen using Adobe's Animate. Let's see. Let's do some expression. Okay, now that that's done, let's go ahead and turn off our tutorial. Now that looks pretty decent, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and move this one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, I think that looks pretty decent for a YouTube end screen. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and file, save as. We're going to name it. Save, and then export. And we're going to export this as a PNG. So down here and select PNG. Okay, save. All that looks okay. Okay. And then minimize. Okay, here it is. Alright, not too bad, huh? And to get that into Premiere, I'll show you guys quick. It's going to be fairly similar with almost every other video editing software out there. So Premiere just happens to be what I use and what I have on hand. So we'll just go in here. Offline that. And delete the one that I have there. Bring up my desktop. Okay, make sure you select your PNG and not your Krita document. Drag it over here into your media panel. Where'd it go now? There it is. And drag it over here. Now, if you're dragging a 4K res in-screen into 1080p footage, it's going to look like this. Now don't freak out. All you got to do is go over to the Effect Controls panel up here, and if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, go ahead and go to Windows, Workspaces, and go to the Effects panel, and it should bring up a very similar looking screen to mine. So you're going to go over here, you're going to go to the Effect with your YouTube in-screen selected, go up to the Effect Controls and go to Scale, and it will be at 100, and you'll need to go to 50. But since my timeline is already for 4K, it's okay at 100. But if you were bringing in a 4K in-screen into 1080p footage, you'll need to go from 100 to 50. Now, sometimes Premiere will do this for you automatically, but sometimes it won't. So just so you know. Now, with that done, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. Bring that just a little bit over here like that. Okay, how about this? See? Not too shabby, huh? Alright, well, that pretty much concludes it for today's tutorial. Next week I will be having a tutorial on how to use Adobe's Animate to make your very own animated in-screen, and let me show you guys what that's going to look like quick. I'm going to show you guys how to make something like this. This is my new in-screen that I made in Adobe Animate, and you can do this in a single afternoon. Alright guys, thanks again. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button or the thumbs down button if you didn't like it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, concerns, things you'd rather have seen me do differently, go ahead and say that in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and my website at www.beardedtechie.com. Thanks again guys. See you next week.